What if we could shrink down to the size of a single cell and travel through the most complex structure ever discovered? Not a galaxy, not a supercomputer. The human brain, a 3-pound organ that generates thoughts, memories, emotions, dreams, and consciousness itself. Right now, inside your head, nearly 86 billion neurons are communicating through trillions of connections, and together, they create the experience of being you. Today, we're taking that incredible journey. Welcome to Journey Through the Human Brain. Our first stop is the command center itself. At first glance, the brain looks like a wrinkled, almost alien mass of tissue. But every single fold and crevice has a purpose. Those wrinkles, called gyri and sulci, are a brilliant evolutionary trick. If you could gently flatten out the surface of your cerebral cortex, it would cover the area of a large pillowcase. All those folds allow an immense amount of processing power to be packed tightly inside your skull. This organ is astonishingly efficient, but also incredibly demanding. It weighs only about 2% of your body weight, yet it devours roughly 20% of your daily energy. It's the most energy-hungry organ you have, and it never truly rests. Even when you're fast asleep, your brain is a whirlwind of activity, consolidating memories, cleaning house, and preparing you for the day to come. It is always on. Now, let's zoom deeper. We're moving past the surface and entering a forest unlike anything on Earth. The trees here are branching, intricate structures called neurons, the information processing cells of your nervous system. The sheer scale is difficult to comprehend. Scientists estimate there are approximately 86 billion neurons inside the human brain. That's roughly the same number of stars in our Milky Way galaxy. And it's not just the number of neurons, it's their connectivity. Each single neuron can connect to thousands of others, creating a network with trillions of communication pathways. This network is not static. From childhood through your late 20s, it undergoes a process called synaptic pruning. It operates on a use it or lose it principle, strengthening the connections you use often while eliminating those that are less active. This makes your brain more efficient, shaping its architecture based on your unique experiences. Every thought you've ever had, every memory you've ever formed, every emotion you've ever felt exists because of the signals traveling through this living, ever-changing network. And those signals are electric. Right now, your brain is generating enough electricity to power a low-wattage LED light bulb. Tiny electrical impulses called action potentials travel from neuron to neuron at speeds up to 268 miles per hour. These signals allow different parts of your brain to communicate almost instantly. But the electricity is only half the story. When a signal reaches the end of a neuron, it doesn't just jump to the next one. It triggers the release of chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. You've heard of them. Dopamine, the molecule of motivation and reward; serotonin, which helps regulate your mood; glutamate, the main excitatory chemical that kicks things into high gear; and GABA, which calms things down. These chemicals are the language of the brain. They cross the microscopic gap between neurons and tell the next cell whether to fire or not. This complex dance of electricity and chemistry is what shapes your mood, your focus, your motivation, and your behavior every second of every day. Let's travel deeper into the temporal lobe, to a structure critical for learning and memory. We've arrived at the hippocampus. Think of it as the brain's master memory architect. When you learn something new, the name of a person, a historical fact, or how to ride a bike, the hippocampus is essential for converting that short-term experience into a stable, long-term memory. Without it, you would be trapped in the present, unable to form new declarative memories. Every name you've learned, every face you recognize, every important life event has passed through this remarkable system. But recent research shows the hippocampus does more than just record the past, it actively reorganizes memories to anticipate the future. It builds predictive models of the world, helping you know what to expect next. This is why damage to the hippocampus, as seen in early Alzheimer's disease, affects not just memory, but also decision-making and planning. Nearby, we find a small, almond-shaped cluster of neurons, the amygdala. This is the brain's emotional processing center. The amygdala is constantly scanning your environment for threats and plays a crucial role in fear, anxiety, and aggression. It's the reason your heart races during a scary movie, or why you feel a jolt of adrenaline when a car suddenly brakes in front of you. It's a primal survival mechanism. But it also tags memories with emotional significance. That's why you can remember a highly emotional event, whether joyous or terrifying, with crystal clarity years later. Groundbreaking research is now mapping the specific types of neurons within the amygdala, finding direct links between their activity and conditions like anxiety and depression. Understanding this emotional hub at the cellular level is opening new doors for treating mental health. Now, we travel to the front of the brain, to one of its most evolutionarily advanced regions, the prefrontal cortex. If the brain were a company, the prefrontal cortex would be the chief executive officer. This is the region responsible for what we call executive functions, complex decision-making, planning for the future, problem-solving, and, crucially, self-control. It's the part of your brain that helps you weigh the consequences of your actions, resist a tempting impulse, and focus on a long-term goal. The prefrontal cortex is what allows you to make complex social judgments and navigate the intricate rules of society. It's the voice of reason that overrides the more primitive emotional impulses coming from structures like the amygdala. For decades, one biological puzzle remained. How does the brain, this incredibly active organ, clean itself? Other organs have the lymphatic system to remove waste, but that network doesn't extend into the brain. The answer was a stunning discovery, the glymphatic system. It's a hidden cleaning crew that works primarily while you sleep. During deep sleep, your brain cells actually shrink, widening the channels between them. This allows cerebrospinal fluid to flow through the brain tissue, washing away metabolic waste and toxic proteins that accumulate during the day. Proteins like amyloid beta, which is famously linked to Alzheimer's disease. This discovery has radically changed our understanding of sleep. It's not just rest, it's essential maintenance. A failure of this cleaning system is now believed to be a key factor in the progression of many neurodegenerative diseases. And this brings us to the greatest mystery of all. Despite everything we've learned about neurons, neurotransmitters, and specialized regions, one enormous question remains. Consciousness. How does a 3-pound network of cells, this biological computer, generate subjective awareness? How does all this electrical and chemical activity create the richness of your inner world, your thoughts, your imagination, your sense of self, the feeling of being alive? Scientists still don't fully know. There are leading theories, from information being broadcast across a global workspace in the brain to consciousness being a fundamental property of integrated information, but the hard problem, why we have subjective experience at all, remains the ultimate frontier of neuroscience. The more we learn, the more profound the questions become. Our journey through the human brain reveals one of nature's greatest achievements, an organ capable of learning, adapting, creating, and even understanding itself. Every memory you cherish, every idea you generate, every decision you make begins inside this extraordinary network of cells. And perhaps the most incredible part is this: the very brain you are using to process these words is the same intricate, mysterious, and magnificent object we've just explored. You are, quite literally, the universe inside your own head.